Start, Terry.
Okay. My name is Terri Hill, and this is
And I am Donna Hill Staton.
Donna's my big sister. We moved to Columbia in 1969. I was in fifth grade, and I remember first when we visited Columbia. We were moving from Philadelphia, and Columbia was one of the places that our parents were thinking of moving to. And when we first came, there was very little development. I think Brighton Woods had houses in it, and we had 5 model homes in Running Brook.
And I think that, at least for me, I'm just a little bit older than Terry. I was 11 when we moved to Columbia, and I was already sold on the idea of Columbia based on what our parents told us about what Columbia, how it had been established, and the idea of moving to a community where people of all faiths and races and religion could live in one community, which was a big deal when you think about 1969 and what was going on at that time. But as you might imagine, the mind of an 11-year-old also has its own take on things. And one of the things that I told my friends in Philadelphia when we announced we were moving is that we're moving to a place where the houses don't touch each other and people walk in the street without shoes.
One of the things that I remember, again before we even moved, my first impressions were fixed by going to the exhibit center. And the exhibit center showed all the farmland that had been bought, and it showed the models or projections of the different neighborhoods and the village centers and that kind of thing. And I thought that was really exciting to have a plan for what the community could look like and what the dreams were. And in fact, I think, you know, if we were to project forward some years, that one of the things that I miss the most being in Columbia is having that exhibit center, because it really helped the people who moved to Columbia in the beginning to have a common set of, community goals and community values. But it was fun, and Wild Lake Village Center was the first village center that was open. We could walk there, ride our bikes there.
Well, it's funny because now everybody's talking about walkable communities, and in fact, that is what Columbia was like at the time. It was walkable, it was also rideable. We spent a lot of time on our bikes,
And on the minibus.
going all over Columbia. In the early days, I remember that we had many stops, including in the model homes, where we would take a break and get water, ride to our friends' homes. It was a really fun place to grow up.
Talk a little bit about the work that you do.
The work that I do now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you want to start?
No, you go ahead.
Well, I'm currently a lawyer. I've been a lawyer for, oh my goodness, almost 36 years. And had a lot of different positions, from private practice to actually being named the first African-American woman to serve as a state court judge in Howard County. That was quite an honor for me, having grown up in the community and then being given the honor and the privilege to serve the community in that capacity, and that was in 1995. So that was a very exciting thing to be able to do and to give back. And I've had many other different positions, including state and private practice, but that's something that is very, very special to me.
I have 2 jobs right now, and we're both proud graduates of Wild Lake High School. And just before I talk a little bit about what I'm doing now, I was in the first group of students to enter Falcon Ridge Elementary School. The first year it opened in 1969. I was a 5th grader, and that school's since closed. I think Donna was one of the first students.
No, I opened Wild Lake Middle.
That's right.
And the class that opened Wild Lake High School, and had the fun task of being part of the group of people who got to vote on the mascot for Wild Lake High School. So for all you Wildcats, you're welcome.
So graduated and went off to college and medical school, and came back to set up a practice in plastic surgery in Dorsey Hall Village in 1991. And I've been here ever since then, celebrating 25 years of solo private practice and as a plastic surgeon, and had the honor to be elected in 2014 as a state delegate for District 12, which is pretty much all of Western Columbia and a significant part of the rest of the county and part of Baltimore County. So that's to be a Columbia girl from the age of 10 on up, and for this to be my home, and to have the privilege of representing this as part of my district is really, it's really quite an honor.
What do you see for the future of Columbia?
Well, I mean, Columbia's changing and it's growing, just as our nation is, and I think that it's interesting to me because when we moved to Columbia, there were many people in Howard County that didn't like the idea of Columbia and didn't want to see the change that would come with it. And when I left to go to college and go to medical school, I'd come home after months and see a new road or houses going up and found myself often saying, no, I like things just the way they were. I can't believe they're going to do some new development. And I'd laugh at myself because I said, well, I sound like the people who were waiting for us to move in here. But it's exciting to see the change. And I think that Columbia will continue to be a unique city with people who care about diversity and inclusivity and those attributes. I think that it will continue to be one of the gems of Howard County. So I think the future of Columbia is bright because the people care.
And I would say, as a now almost 30-year resident of Clarksville, I still consider Columbia one of the most precious gifts that Howard County has. And it is something that is a central part of what we all enjoy as Howard Countyans. I think that we have to treasure it and watch it grow and continue to connect to everybody in Columbia and beyond. It is just a wonderful place to live, and it's been a wonderful place to raise my family.